He's robbing the locker room and he's robbing the meeting room, but he's the Gronk when he's out on the field.
Unstoppable! This is a 6'6" acrobat to the big house!
The man is a monster on the field. He will not go down.
You can't stop the kid. He's a freak.
Unbelievable. This guy is going to be scary good.
He made over $70 million in the NFL, and to this day, he says he hasn't spent a single dollar of it. That's not a typo, and by the end of this video, it's going to make total sense. So let me give you the context, because the numbers here are wild. Across 11 seasons with the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rob Gronkowski pulled in just over $70 million in NFL contract money. 4 Super Bowl rings. One of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. And today, his estimated net worth sits right around $45 million. Now here's where it gets strange. A man worth that much, a 4-time champion who could live the rest of his life without lifting a finger, he doesn't act rich at all. No supercars, no diamond chains, no mega mansion lifestyle splashed across social media. Instead, he drives a regular Ford Bronco. He's admitted he'll wear the same pair of jeans for days at a time before they even hit the washer. And the question writes itself, why would one of football's biggest personalities choose to live like he's broke? Trust me, the answer is smarter than it looks. Here's what makes this so jarring. In the NFL, reckless spending isn't the exception, it's practically the culture. Young guys land a massive contract, and the money evaporates into mansions, fleets of cars, jewelry, all-night parties. Gronk went the complete opposite direction. As a rookie, this is a guy who lived with a teammate as a roommate, splitting rent, living like a college kid who'd never seen a paycheck. He was a second-round pick. His first deal was only about $4 million over 4 years, far less than the first-rounders were getting. And his whole mindset was simple. If I just play this contract out, I'll be set for life. So he saved. Every flashy temptation that comes with NFL money, he just said no. And it wasn't because he didn't know how to have fun. Anybody who's watched 5 minutes of Gronk knows the man knows how to have fun. It's that he understood something about the league that most players learn way too late. And his financial instincts go way beyond just not spending. Let me tell you about the best investment he ever made, and he basically stumbled into it. Back in 2014, Gronk was having a house built in Foxborough, and the contractor building it kept telling him the same thing, over and over. Buy Apple, buy Apple. After about the 50th time, Gronk gave in. He called his financial advisor and dropped $69,000 into Apple stock, knowing, by his own admission, absolutely nothing about how the stock market worked. And then, he forgot about it, completely. 2.5 years went by before he remembered he'd even done it, and when he checked, that 69 grand had ballooned to 250,000. He cashed out his original stake and let the rest ride. To this day, that position is worth over $600,000, all from a tip he got from the guy pouring his foundation. Honestly, with instincts like that, maybe he missed his calling as a full-time investor. But here's the part that genuinely stops people in their tracks. Gronk says he has never spent any of his NFL salary. Not some of it, none of it, technically. Every dollar he earned on the field went straight into savings and investments. And his entire lifestyle, all his everyday expenses, got covered by the money he made off the field. And he made a lot of it off the field. Tide, Nike, Dunkin', Visa, T-Mobile, Lyft, Cheerios. Gronk stacked endorsement deals like nobody else at his position. So while the football checks sat untouched and growing, he lived off the marketing money. That kind of discipline among pro athletes is almost unheard of. And it raises the real question, what does a guy that young understand about the game that makes him hoard every paycheck like the music might stop tomorrow? Because here's the thing, for an NFL body, the music always stops. And this is where the whole strategy starts to click into place. A football career is brutally short and stacked with risk, and one injury can end everything in an instant. Gronk knows that better than almost anyone because his body went through a war. Multiple back surgeries, a broken forearm that got infected, a torn ACL and MCL on a single play. And then there's the part that's genuinely sobering. He's estimated he had around 9 surgeries and roughly 20 concussions over his life, 5 of them serious enough that he blacked out. He retired the first time at just 29 in age when most stars are right in their prime. Every trip to the operating room hammered home the same lesson. NFL money is not something you can count on forever, and the league is absolutely littered with proof. Take Terrell Owens, Hall of Fame talent, 6-time Pro Bowler, reportedly earned around $80 million across a 15-year career. He poured it into cars, jewelry, and a string of bad investments, and filed for bankruptcy in 2012, the same year he played his last season. By some reports, his net worth today sits around $500,000. And before anybody jumps in the comments saying, that's just one guy who got unlucky, save it because the data backs it up. A study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that nearly 16% of NFL players file for bankruptcy within 12 years of retiring. And get this, it barely matters how long you played or how much you made. The big earners go broke at almost the same rate as everybody else. So this isn't about not making enough. It's about what happens after the checks stop. And here's where Gronk separates himself from the pack. Because most athletes don't go broke buying too many supercars, they go broke because of the people around them. The entourage, the distant relatives, the hangers-on who suddenly remember their family the second a contract gets signed. That pressure to spend, to floss, to take care of everybody, that's the quiet killer. Gronk just refused to play that game. He kept his circle tiny, mostly close family and childhood friends. The people who knew him before any of it. No yes men, no fake friends, no pressure to prove anything to anybody. And because of that, he could stick to the plan. Save the salary, live off the endorsements, ignore the noise. But that discipline didn't come out of nowhere. It was built into him long before he ever saw an NFL dollar. Rob grew up one of 5 brothers in a loud, competitive household, and his father, Gordy, ran it with a clear philosophy. Success wasn't just about talent. It had to come paired with responsibility and discipline. School first, no matter what. Then sports, that was the rule. And instead of the family shelling out hundreds of thousands on college tuition, every one of the Gronkowski boys chased an athletic scholarship and earned their way in. Gordy had another rule, too. If you start something, you finish it. No quitting. Ever. He built his sons a home gym, set up the environment, and then stepped back and let them push each other. And there's this detail that tells you everything in the Gronkowski house. Clothes and equipment got handed down brother to brother to brother. Hockey gear, baseball gear, shirts, jeans passed straight down the line. That's why, to this day, Rob has zero problem wearing the same shirt and the same jeans until they fall apart. He learned early that value comes from effort, not from a price tag. Gronk's emotional, "this is what it's all about" moment, delivering the $1 million check on Fox and Friends at Dierks High School, Arkansas, November 2025. And once he understood how much his own upbringing set him up, he turned around and started building that same launchpad for kids who didn't have it. In 2013, he and his brothers launched the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation, focused on youth sports, fitness, education, and children's hospitals. And he's put serious money behind it. In 2021, his foundation committed over $1 million to completely renovate a playground on the Charles River Esplanade in Boston, a space the state later renamed Gronk Playground. In early 2025, he went back to his old high school near Pittsburgh and alongside U.S. Steel put $400,000 into rebuilding the weight room where he once trained. And later that year, he showed up at a tiny high school in Dierks, Arkansas, a town of about 900 people that won a national T-Mobile contest to help hand over $1 million check for a brand new football field. Watch his face when he delivers it. That reaction is real. And it's not just sports and schools. When disaster hits, Gronk moves fast. In March of 2025, his foundation donated $315,000 to the Tampa Bay Resiliency Fund, helping families dig out from the hurricanes that battered the region he used to call home. His words were simple: Tampa Bay will always have a special place in his heart, and he wanted to help the community come back stronger. Over the years, the foundation's given to major children's hospitals like Boston Children's and St. Jude. And every single one of those gestures traces straight back to the lessons his dad drilled into him. Hard work, looking out for each other, leaving the next group of kids better off than you found it. So step back and look at the whole picture, because this is where it all connects. It was never really about being cheap, it's about control. The frugal living kept the salary untouched. The untouched salary went into investments like that Apple bet. The endorsements covered his life so the savings could grow. The tiny inner circle killed the pressure that sinks everybody else. And the discipline to run that entire system came straight from a childhood built on hand-me-downs and scholarships. Every layer feeds the one beneath it. And remember, this is a guy who, with Tom Brady, connected for 105 touchdowns, the second most of any quarterback and receiver duo in NFL history, behind only Manning and Harrison, the most postseason touchdowns of any duo ever, the most playoff receiving yards by a tight end, period. He dominated on the field and then refused to let the field own his future. That's not luck. That's a man who read the game, both games, better than almost anyone who's ever played it. Because in the end, Gronk's whole story feels almost backwards for the world we live in. A man worth tens of millions choosing cheap clothes and a simple life on purpose. But to him, real wealth was never about the watch or the car or proving status to strangers. It was about buying the one thing most athletes lose: freedom. Freedom for himself, freedom for his family, freedom long after the stadium lights cut out. He understood the part so many learned too late: making the millions is one game, and keeping your life secure after the fame fades is a completely different one. So here's my question for you. If you got rich overnight, would you spend it trying to look rich, or would you do what Gronk did and protect your future instead? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to hear it. And if you enjoyed this one, do me a favor, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.